everyone, and welcome back to Love
English. I'm Sabrah.
and I'm Leila.
And today we have a special lesson for you on a tricky subject. So Leila, do you find that your students find these easy?
No, modal verbs are notoriously tricky, meaning famously difficult to learn. Because there are so many modal verbs, many different functions and slightly different grammatical structures to go with them.
That's right. So today, guys, we're going to talk you through some of the most common mistakes that you guys are making with modal verbs. So Leila, I have a little question for you.
Sure.
How's your Italian coming on? Leila has an Italian boyfriend and he gets very upset that Leila hasn't learnt Italian yet. So how's your Italian?
It could be better. I should really be studying a little bit more.
So if you had more time, would you study?
I would. If I had more time, I would definitely study more Italian.
Okay. So do you have a teacher?
No, I should probably get one.
Would you prefer to have just a teacher for you, so a private teacher?
I think if I did do that, I would choose to have a private teacher. I think that way you can become a lot more fluent, you get that private tuition, that focus on your errors, your weaknesses, your strengths.
Speaking of which, we would like to tell you all about a company called italki, and they are a company who teach English as well as many other languages online, and it's private lessons. They actually have sponsored this video, so thank you very much to italki.
So as we mentioned earlier, having a private English tutor is a great way to become fluent faster. Many of you are actively studying English, but having an English teacher that's focused on you, personalizing the lessons, customizing them for you really is going to be a great way to learn English, or any other language, as Sabrah said.
Yeah, and I actually think it's very affordable because the teachers set their own prices according to your budget.
Now, you've learnt Spanish online, but
That's
I
right.
actually used to teach English online. So I really understand some of the benefits from the teaching perspective of learning online and having a private tutor. So first of all, online means that if you do have a job, if you do have children, then it is much more convenient because it can be adapted to your schedule. Okay, so with italki you do get native speakers, so they will really understand the language that you are trying to learn.
Now, if you do decide to learn English with italki, then we have a special discount code for you. You get $10 of italki credits if you register with our link. So the link that you need to register with to get that discount is here, and it's down in the description box as well.
So for $10 of italki credits, by registering with us at goitalki.com/love English, you will get that special offer.
Okay guys, right, shall we get started with some modal verbs?
I really think we should. So the top 5 mistakes that you make with modal verbs are, number 1, adding to.
Why do you guys do this? Or adding be? Okay, let's go through some of these modal verbs. I'll
Please.
say one, you say one.
Okay.
Okay, could,
Should,
would,
might,
may.
something else.
Are they the top ones? Could, would, might, may, and then we also have must and have to.
Yes.
But we're not going to focus on those today.
We're not going to look at those. I think perhaps the confusion comes is because we use have to, and it is used as an obligation. I have to do my homework. I have to call Sabrah. But that is the only modal verb really that can be used with to. And have isn't a modal verb, it's a normal verb. It's just used as a modal verb.
Yeah. So all the other modal verbs do not need to. Repeat it, Leila.
All the other modal verbs do not need to. So why add be or to before the verb?
Yeah. All you need is the meaning verb. For example, I could go.
I could have.
Yeah. I could see.
I could do.
Yeah. She should see. She should go. She should be. In this case, be is the meaning verb. Yeah.
So why is it that you always add be after a modal verb? Well, not always. I'm sure some of you get it right. Be is, of course, the infinitive verb. Now, In this case, we use be when it is the main verb Sabrah just mentioned. So I could be rich. Okay, that would be nice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Rich is the adjective, be is the main verb. It's a state verb here. However, there are infinitive forms for all the verbs. The example of she could have a
nice car.
A nice car. She could have a nice car. So she could have. Here, look at that. We've got she and have. Now, ordinarily, it would be she has. Put that modal verb in the middle.
She could have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's confusing, the adjective. Yeah. For example, we could say she could be healthier. She could be healthier. In this case, we've got an adjective. If we have an adjective, we absolutely need be because adjectives need verbs. So this is the most common mistake, to and be, adding to and be. So don't do it, guys. It's a big no-no.
Okay, now number 2. Confusing the meaning of should, could, and would. Confusing?
Yeah, it's definitely confusing.
Could be.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be confusing.
Okay, let's go through these, guys. We've got some sentences for you to explain the difference.
So example number 1, she could go and study in the library.
Example number 2, she should go and study in the library.
Example number 3, she would go and study in the library if she had time.
Now let's look at this, guys. She could go and study in the library. Here, this is about possibility. She could go and study in the library. It's possible, but she might choose another location. For example, she might go and study at home, or in a coffee shop, or perhaps with friends at college.
I prefer all of those options.
Yeah, me
Other
too,
than the
rather than the
library.
library. Everybody always is going shh in the library.
Okay,
So
now
should.
the next one was should. She should. You should go and study in the library. This is a suggestion. This is a recommendation, giving advice to somebody. You should do something.
Leila, you should practice your Italian more.
I could, if I wanted to.
Okay. The last one is a little bit more difficult as this is a conditional sentence. So would is normally used with hypothetical situations, okay? If you would do something, usually this is attached to a conditional clause, so usually an if clause. For example, she would go to the library if she had more time. If she had more time, this is she doesn't have time, yeah? But
Second conditional.
yeah, but if she did, so if she had more time, she would go to the library. So she would go, she would be there if she had more time.
And of course, would implies more certainty. So she would. It's more certain that she would do this thing.
Yeah.
Could implies possibility, ability. Should is advice, but would is that's what would happen.
Yeah. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. So number 3, guys. One of the trickiest modal verbs, because it has so many different functions, is could. Now we're going to talk you through the different functions of could. Could is actually used for polite English. Yes, us Brits are very polite. And rather than saying, Leila, can you do this for me? If I want to be really nice to Leila and I want to encourage her to do this nice thing for me, I could say, Leila, could you open the window for me?
I'll think about it.
Leila, could you make me a cup of tea?
Of course I could.
Okay, so it's to be polite. It's rather than saying, can you?
Yes,
Yeah, so it's a
more
polite form
more formal.
of can. It's also the past form of can, okay? So I can swim, as in I can do it now. I could swim, as in the past.
Or couldn't. So you can talk about the ability that
negative.
you didn't have in the past. So
Yeah.
I couldn't swim when I was 5. I can swim now.
Yeah, very, very true. So there's a couple of other functions of could, and to understand the function, you really have to look at the context.
So could, of course, the main function is ability. Now, as Sabrah just mentioned, could is for the past, can is for now. So now we can teach English very well, I think. Hopefully you agree.
We hope so.
And you've subscribed. But in the past, so when I was 20 years old, there's no way I could have taught English.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
I think I knew what a noun, an adjective and a verb was. That was it.
No, I couldn't have taught English in the past.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, so this is about past ability or lack of ability. Now, we can also use could for when we're guessing something, can't we, in the past?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Leila, I think you've recently lost something. Where could it have gone? Where could it have gone? We're thinking, where could it have gone? Where could it have possibly gone? So it's about guessing, past deduction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It can also be present deduction. It could be. So where are your glasses? They could be in your bag. So present and past deduction possibility. There are so many uses of could. Pay attention to the use of could have done, could have been, could have gone, could have lost. Here we've still got the infinitive base form of the verb have, but with the past participle. In this case, it is a past modal verb. It really does start to get confusing. I've got a feeling we might have to do a few more lessons on this. Right, number 4 is my biggest pet hate. This drives me mad. If I see it on Facebook, if someone texts me this, I might not answer. It's pretty awful. Should of, could of. Would of. Oh my god, no, it's terrible.
Okay, I have to be honest and say that I have done this. I am guilty of this mistake.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I told you.
I'm gonna defriend you.
This is my big secret. I have made this mistake. And the reason is because could have, when we speak quickly, and sometimes I speak very quickly, becomes could have. Could have.
Could have.
Yeah, should have.
Would have.
Would have. It sounds like of, sounds like of, which could be of.
It's the weak form of have. It's the very weak form of have.
Yeah.
Have becomes of. But of course, when we speak very fast in English, many of the kind of non-essential verbs are actually contracted or weakened with the schwa. So of.
Yeah, of, exactly. So I have made this mistake. I'm very embarrassed as an English teacher, but I have to be honest. So if you guys have made this mistake, you can comment below and tell us. Don't make it anymore.
Don't make that mistake. So of course, would have gone, should have gone, could have gone is all part of the third conditional. Now, if you do want to learn more about third conditional, if only we had a lesson about third conditional. Oh wait, we do.
Yes, Leila's lesson is fantastic on this. Okay guys, mistake number 5, the last one. This is using the present simple, so using the third person in the present simple. So, for example, she has, which is absolutely correct. He has, it has, but using this with a modal verb. With a modal verb, it is not correct because actually it's not the present perfect which goes with the modal verb. So in the case of, for example, could have, when you use it in the present, it's the same. Have does not change. It's a meaning verb. It doesn't need to go to has in the third person. So, for example, she could has would be incorrect.
Really would. There is no third person with any of the modal verbs. It's not just has though. We often see things like she could does or she could goes. No, absolutely not. This is a complete overuse of that third person rule. Remember, modal verbs have no third person. Stop.
Any questions about grammar? Leila is amazing at grammar.
I'm not perfect at grammar, but I'm a little bit of a grammar perfectionist.
Nearly. So any questions about this grammar, direct them to Leila.
You just don't want to answer them.
Also to me. But yes, Leila is very, very good at this, so you can always ask either of us.
Okay guys, now if you feel that you should get a little bit more practice, you could of course go to italki and sign up, get that special offer and find yourself a native English teacher.
That's right. $10 of italki credits if you use the link. The link is here again, and it's also down in the description box.
Thank you so much for watching again. If you did enjoy this lesson, make sure that you click that subscribe button, you like the lesson, and you share with as many of your friends on social media as possible. We want to help you learn English.
And you should follow us on Instagram at Love English UK, and also at Twitter at Love English UK.
And of course, Facebook, I think it's just Love English.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. Best of luck with your English.
Bye.